The story begins in ancient Japan. We see a place called Akeo, where landlords still rule. Some samurai bring in a strange boy they had caught. The boy's name is Kai, but no one knows where he came from. Everyone suspects that maybe he's some kind of spirit or demon. They don't want to keep him in their land because his skin is so pale, and they're afraid of him. But Lord Asano, the ruler of the land, says that the boy will stay. Asano's daughter, Mika, also likes him, and soon the two become friends. Kai grows up in that land, always different from everyone else. People treat him like an outsider, but still, he is grateful for Lord Asano's kindness and Mika's friendship. One day, a group of hunters goes to catch a terrifying beast that the villagers feared. The creature was huge, with 6 eyes. It could hurl even horses into the air, let alone men. During the hunt, we see a samurai named Yasano whose sword falls, leaving him trapped in front of the beast. Kai risks his life, kills the creature, saves Yasano, and even returns his sword to him. But Yasano, disgusted, says, "It would have been better if I had died. This impure boy saved me." Ugh! Everyone believed that Kai was not normal. Soon, the other samurai arrived and assumed Yasano had slain the beast. Yasano stayed silent and took all the credit for himself. As they were leaving, Kai noticed a strange white fox staring at him. Its eyes were of 2 different colors. Meanwhile, in another land, Nagato, the same fox appeared before the Lord Kira. Suddenly, the fox transformed into a beautiful woman. She was actually Kira's spy. She told him their plan to eliminate Lord Asano had failed. When the hunters returned, Mika welcomed her father back. She asked if he was hurt. Asano joked, "Worried about someone special, are you?" It was then revealed why the 6-eyed beast had to be defeated. The great shogun's tournament was about to take place, a very prestigious event. Everything had to be perfect. Asano was very pleased with Mika's efforts and said, "If your mother were alive today, she would be so proud of you." That night, Mika went to Kai. Kai was badly hurt, so Mika cared for him. Then she brought up Yasano. She said that when everyone was praising him, she saw shame in his eyes. Kai realized Mika knew what had really happened. He quickly said, "I don't want any trouble. You should go." He added, "I will always care for you, but my place is different, and yours is different." Soon, the grand day of the shogun arrived with great pomp. A woman appeared who seemed strangely familiar. Her eyes were 2 different colors, just like the fox in the forest. Kai found this odd and went to tell Oishi. But neither of them knew that Oishi's son, Shirkara, was secretly listening. Kai said, "There is a witch among us." Oishi reminded him, "Only demons can see a witch's true form." "How do you know this?" The next day, the festival continued, and Lord Kira arrived. He spoke politely to Lord Asano, but inside, the 2 men despised each other. Kira taunted him. "What a fine concubine you have!" Furious, Asano replied, "That's my daughter you're talking about. Show some respect." After the play, it was time for the match between the 2 lands. Lord Kira's warrior was extraordinary, impressing everyone. Kira mockingly told Mika, "Don't worry. I'm sure your father's chosen warrior will be just as strong." But no one had much faith in Asano's choice, because he had chosen Yasano, the man believed to have killed the 6-eyed beast. Everyone expected Yasano to arrive. But just before the fight, the foxwoman appeared before him, and Yasano's scene changed. When Shirkara came to fetch him, Yasano looked completely unfit to fight. Kai urged them to call someone else. But there was no time. If their warrior didn't appear, it would be a great humiliation, and Asano's honor would be shattered. The problem was, only a samurai could fight in the tournament, and neither Kai nor Yasano were in any shape. But samurai wear masks, and behind a mask, no one would know if it was truly Yasano or not. As the crowd grew impatient, the shogun asked his servant to call out, "Where is your warrior?" Just then, Akeo's warrior finally entered. His entrance wasn't as grand as his opponent's, but at least the people sighed with relief. He had arrived. But that relief didn't last long. Kira's warrior began breaking the poor man apart. With one strike, the mask fell off, revealing Kai's face. Everyone was shocked. The shogun stopped the fight and came down. With one look, he recognized that Kai was no samurai. The shogun ordered the other warrior to kill him. Mika panicked and stood in front of Kai to protect him. Lord Asano begged forgiveness and took all the blame upon himself. Asano said that if anyone must be punished, then punish me. The shogun agreed and left the decision of punishment to the people. That same evening, in front of Lord Kira, the witch was explaining her plan, how she would take over Asano's entire territory. She said the timing was perfect. Asano was already under immense pressure. Using her magic, she created a spider. Imagine how many eyes it had. Yes, the same terrifying six-eyed creature. Now it became clear where that earlier monster had come from. The spider crawled up to Asano's lips and poisoned him with a venomous sting. Asano woke up hallucinating that Kira was attacking Mika. He picked up his sword to save his daughter. But all of this was only happening in his mind. The strike he launched at Kira, however, was seen by everyone. The samurai rushed to stop him, while Kira pretended to be a helpless victim. For this incident, Asano was sentenced to death, since he had attacked a guest. But out of respect for his honor and status, he was given the chance to carry out the sentence himself. Later, Asano told Oishi that this was far better than being executed. Oishi protested, saying, "This is wrong. What was your fault? You were under a spell." But Asano was now only thinking about saving his family's honor. After this, he went to say goodbye to Mika. He told her, "Don't cry. Don't let them see you weak." Then he went to a place with Oishi. Oishi cleaned his sword for him. Kai was still recovering from his wounds, but the others were all present to witness Asano's end. The samurai wanted to avenge his death, but Oishi said, "If we fight now, the people of our whole land will be in danger, not just warriors, but also farmers and villagers. A warrior's first duty is to think of others." Mika told the shogun that as Asano's only daughter, she would take care of the territory until she got married. But she did not know that everything had already been decided. From now on, Lord Kira would rule Asano's lands. Mika was granted 1 year to mourn, after which she would be married to Kira. For Oishi and the rest of Asano's soldiers, the shogun declared that they were no longer samurai. They were now Ronin, samurai who had lost their master. He also made it clear that they would not be allowed to take revenge. Kira, after coming to power, immediately expelled the Ronin from his lands. He ordered that if any Ronin was found there, he should be killed. Mika was heartbroken hearing this. And it wasn't over yet. Kai was dragged in with a rope. Kira told his future bride to look at him one last time, because she would never see him again. Then he called one of his men and asked what should be done about Oishi. Kira didn't trust him at all, so Oishi was thrown into prison. He remained there for a whole year. On a stormy, rainy day, he was dragged out and left with his weak body. His wife and son ran to him, gave him hot food, and his wife told him that everyone had left Akao. Mika had been taken to the palace to prepare for marriage, since her mourning period was now over. Oishi asked what had happened to Kai. Shirkara told him that Kai had been sold far away as a slave. After eating and learning all this, Oishi stood up and told his son, "I need 3 horses immediately." His wife tried to stop him, but Oishi said, "Tell the whole world that we are divorced. There are things I must do, and this is the only way to keep you safe." He said goodbye to her, gave some instructions to Shirkara, and rode off. After searching a long time, he finally found Kai, in a terrible state. He was being forced to fight brutally for the entertainment of addicts. Oishi entered the ring disguised as a fighter, because that was the only way he could talk to Kai. But after a year of suffering, Kai had become nothing but a fighting machine. He had been tortured so much that he no longer even recognized Oishi. Oishi kept saying, "It's me! Look at me!" But Kai kept attacking, as if only his body was fighting, while inside he was already dead, with no strength left to think or feel. He only regained himself when he heard Mika's name. Then the two of them made an escape from that place, dodging bullets along the way. Once they got far enough, they began talking. Their relationship had completely changed. Kai was no longer the quiet disciple. He had become sharp-tongued, angry, and restless. At the same time, Oishi admitted, "I should have believed you about the witch. Lord Kira betrayed our master." Now he needed Kai's help. His year in prison had also changed him a lot, which is why Oishi now treated Kai with great respect. Soon, a man arrived outside Kira's palace. He had brought news from the Dutch island. He said, "The warrior you sold us has escaped with the help of a samurai." After hearing this, Kira ordered the witch to find Oishi as soon as possible. He wanted Oishi to be completely destroyed. Meanwhile, Kai and Oishi reached the pond, where Shirkara was waiting for them. Shirkara had gathered all of Oishi's men there. He said he had a plan, but this plan went directly against the shogun's orders, meaning, whoever joined it would not live long. As soon as he revealed that his goal was to kill Lord Kira, everyone cheered with excitement. They were all ready to work according to his plan. The castle had many guards and heavy security. So, they needed to find out when Kira would be visiting his temple. They also needed more men and more swords. Oishi assigned these tasks to his people. One of them got angry at Kai and tried to attack him, saying that he was not a samurai. Oishi stopped him and said, "Neither are you. None of us are samurai anymore." Then each team went off to complete their tasks. Soon, Oishi and Kai reached a place called Yutsu, a village of swordsmiths. The place looked completely deserted, like a ghost town. Not a single person was in sight. When they saw some soldiers, Oishi said, "We're just farmers here to buy some tools." The soldiers replied, "This is Lord Kira's village now." They looked at Shikara's hands and said, "These don't look like a farmer's hands." Kai understood what was about to happen and immediately attacked the soldiers. He killed them all so quickly that the remaining ones were terrified. They began picking up the swords of the dead soldiers. By now it was clear that Kira had taken over the entire area, and they would not be able to get weapons from there. That's when Kai revealed his secret to Oishi. He said they could find weapons in the Tengu forest, the place where he had grown up among spirits and demons. He swore he would never again use the magic given to him by them. Oishi didn't like his talk about demons, but he had no other choice. He had to take revenge no matter what. Just then, one of their men brought information about Kira's next visit. But suddenly, he met a beautiful woman and got distracted. Her eyes were very unusual. He asked her name. Meanwhile, Oishi's men carefully entered the forest. They asked about the north, and Kai said, "That way lies the spirits." Then Oishi and Kai entered a dark cave, while the others stayed outside. If too many people entered at once, the spirits would get angry. Kai told Oishi, "No matter what happens, do not draw your sword. Remember, no matter what." Outside the cave, the Ronin began whispering among themselves. They couldn't understand why Oishi trusted Kai so much. After some discussion, they decided they did not trust Kai. If he led Oishi inside and had him killed, what then? So, despite being forbidden, they also decided to enter the cave. Inside, Kai went alone into a chamber. Soon, a strange-looking man approached him. The two talked about the outside world, about how people like Kai were mistreated, how he had been called tainted blood, rejected everywhere without any fault of his own. But here, in the world of spirits, no one had wronged him. They had accepted him. Meanwhile, in the outer chamber, Oishi was shocked to see the hatred in his men's eyes. They were confused and frightened. Suddenly Yasano drew his sword without reason, starting a strange fight. A voice echoed inside Oishi's head, urging him again and again. "Draw your sword. Save your men." He grew restless, trying to help without using his sword, but his men fell one by one. At that moment, Kai demanded the sword that stood between him and the spirit. The spirit said, "Yes, you may take it, but only on one condition. Grab it before I do." Both of them leapt through the air toward the sword, but Kai was much faster. Seeing this, the spirit was pleased, realizing Kai still had his old speed. Meanwhile, in the other chamber, everything was upside down. Oishi's men had never entered the cave at all. It had all been an illusion, a test of Oishi's resolve and trust. When Kai returned, he carried many swords with him. Now all the Ronin came back outside of the cave. There, Isegai was waiting. He told them, "Lord Kira will leave Kayla tonight." Oishi received his message, but failed to notice that Isegai's eyes had turned glassy and strange. Shirkara wanted to join the battle, but his father forbade him. So he stayed behind with an old man. Night fell, and the Ronin stealthily entered the trap. A man with very long hair was performing a ritual. He was just waiting for Oishi to come close. Suddenly, he turned around. It was the witch. With a wave of her hand, fire erupted all around. Many were killed, and several Ronin were badly injured. Inside the castle, the sorceress gave Lord Kira a sword and said that it once belonged to Oishi. Then, mocking Mika, she told her how she had single-handedly destroyed the remaining army of her father. During their conversation, the sorceress deliberately left a dagger near Mika. That gave Mika an idea. Meanwhile, in Ronin's camp, we learned that the sorceress was wrong. Yes, many were injured, but most had survived. Oishi admitted, "It was my fault. We shouldn't have waited so long. Now we must take revenge immediately, whether we win or lose. Even if we die, it will be with honor." Then Kai said, "We can still finish what we started." This time they would have a great advantage because Kira believed they were already dead, and by morning they had another chance to attack. As Kai was leaving, he recognized the troupe of actors. Their team had performed in this area before. When stopped, the actors explained that they were going to perform at Lord Kira's wedding. The Ronins quickly formed a new plan, fully aware that they might not return alive. They also knew how dangerous this would be. They wrote down their stories so that future generations would remember what they did and why. Everyone signed it, including Kai. He was no longer an outsider among them. Usano even admitted before everyone that the six-eyed beast had been killed by Kai, not by him. "Better late than never," he said, offering his apology. He also reminded them that samurai always carry two swords, and handed Kai his second sword. That night, a grand ceremony was about to begin. Kira's castle was heavily guarded, filled with soldiers. The acting troupe was allowed through the gates. No one noticed that Kai and Oishi were hiding among them, slipping inside the castle. Soon Mika was brought before Kira, dressed in wedding attire. As the two sat together, the play began. While the audience was distracted by the performance, the Ronins climbed the corners of the castle walls and silently killed the guards, one by one. Each time they struck down a samurai, one of them would immediately take his place, so no one suspected anything. On stage, people cheered at the fire tricks. But suddenly, the sorceress sensed something was wrong. Oishi, in disguise, was there too and started performing some tricks. Meanwhile, while killing 3 samurai standing together, something went wrong. One of them managed to shoot an arrow at Oishi. It just grazed his arm. But the attack he was preparing against Kira failed. Lord Kira's men quickly shielded him and Mika with arrows and took them away. The Ronins kept chasing them, and battles erupted in different parts of the castle. Kai alone was cutting down enemy after enemy. Lord Kira then sent his most dangerous warrior to face the Ronins. Everyone trembled, knowing how powerful he was. But just then, a Ronin threw burning gunpowder into the armory. A massive explosion followed, killing Kira's mighty samurai. The sorceress immediately transformed and flew away. Mika, seizing the chance, grabbed the dagger hidden in her wedding dress and attacked Kira. But when she realized she couldn't kill him, she fled. The entire castle had turned into a battlefield, with the Ronins fighting with all their might. Soon, Kai and Mika met again. As Kai told her, "Now no one can separate us." The sorceress returned, transforming herself into a massive dragon. But Kai declared, "I am not afraid of you." The dragon attacked him with fire, but using the special sword, Kai blocked every strike and counterattacked fiercely. Meanwhile, only a thin wall separated Oishi and Kira. They smashed through it while attacking each other, leading to an intense duel between the two, equally matched in strength. While Kai fought the dragon, his sword slipped from his hands. Just as the dragon lunged toward Mika, Kai unleashed his hidden powers, retrieved the sword, and struck the dragon with a mighty blow. The beast crashed to the ground and slowly transformed back into the sorceress. The strike was so devastating that she breathed her last. Inside the castle, Oishi also defeated Kira, finally cutting off his head and presenting it before everyone, ending the battle once and for all. With Lord Kira dead, his soldiers surrendered their weapons. All 47 Ronins then returned to Akao with Princess Mika. They placed their swords on Asano's grave, and Oishi declared, "Now our revenge is complete." In the end, Princess Mika confessed her love to Kai, and their bond of love began to blossom. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.